Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm John and this is my channel called the Afro Modern Bite. Today we're going to be making a delicacy called chapatis that we love eating so much in Uganda, and I'll be doing it my own way and using my own ingredients. So I'll be leaving them down below in the video. So I want you guys to follow, like and subscribe to this channel for more of Uganda and African foods that I'll be making. So just comment down below and thank you. Let's just get into the video. So guys, I'll start by adding some wheat. This is the wheat I'm using. Based on where you are, you'll be able to use the wheat that you have. Yeah, so I'm going to be using like around 1.5 kilograms of wheat. So I'll put it in this bowl. So I have a carrot here, which I'm going to grate into the wheat, and I have an onion. Then I'll be adding in some baking powder, like a half teaspoon of baking powder. Then I'll also be adding in like 100 grams of this is butter, but the easy one. So if you don't have butter at home, you can always use oil, so that's good too, so no problem with that. And then I'll be adding in some oil too. Like, the oil makes the dough really soft at the end of the day, so it's always advisable to always add in some oil when you're done doing the dough. So first and foremost, I'll be putting in some butter. I always use the teaspoon to measure this. I don't have like a weighing scale right home, so I add like 2 spoons of butter. So that's approximately around 80 to 90 grams of butter. Then I have to integrate the butter into the dough. As you can see, you have to integrate it so well. So let's integrate the butter first. So you can do this with your hands. It's really fine. You'll have to add in the carrot and the onion a little bit later, not right away. So let's do the butter first. This makes the wheat really soft, and when you frying your chapatis and even the end product, it will be really soft. Yeah, so and when you're adding in the salt, I always add the salt in the water, so it's much more easier to integrate into the wheat rather than putting the salt into the wheat itself. Yeah, so let's do this. When the butter is really integrated into the wheat and you can't see any crumbs anymore, then you know your wheat is ready. So just add in a half teaspoon of baking powder. What this baking powder helps you with is like making the dough a little bit more thick when you eat the end product. Yeah, it makes the chapatis more thick. Yeah, so integrate the baking powder really well. So that's done too. And now we're going to grate our carrot. Like you see, you have to peel it fast. And always be careful when you're using the knife. I always add the salt last when I'm done with everything, because I add the salt into the water and then that's when I put the water into the wheat and then make the dough. So peel off the carrot really well. And guys, this is a very easy recipe. Yeah, it's not so hard. You don't have to make it so complicated. So the carrot is done. Then you have to peel also the onion. And this is just an option. If you don't want to put in the onion, you don't have to put it in. You don't have to add it. So it's just an option. It's something I always add into my chapatis to make it more flavorful. Yeah. But if you don't want to, you don't have to add it in. So then I'll be grating the carrot here. This carrot adds flavor into the chapatis. So the carrot is done. Then you can use the other side to grate the onion. I prefer grating the onion, but some people just chop it. And when you chop the onion, you don't get like the fine. You always get particles in the dough when it's done, or in the chapatis. But it's always a choice that you have to make. You can grate it, you can chop it. Either way it works. Some people want to feel the onion when they're eating it. But this is okay also to grate it. Me, I prefer to grate it because I don't like the crumbs to be in the chapatis that I eat. I want it to be fine. So that's done. Then you'll have to integrate the onion and the carrots into the wheat really well. Make sure you don't have big crumbs when you start making the dough. So integrate it really well. Make sure you don't have big crumbs in the wheat when you start making the dough. When that is done, then it will be time to add the salt. So now let's add the salt. You can measure the salt so that it's not too sour. You can put, like, depending on how much wheat you have been you want to make. So that's like 2 tablespoons. I always put in 2¼ I would say. That's enough salt. And then I pour in the water. So I make sure I stir the salt so it integrates with the water. So when it's integrated, then it's time to make the dough. So just pour a little bit. Don't pour too much water. Just pour like half of it. You have to add the water gradually. Yeah. So add in some more water. You can also use also use milk to do this dough if you want. If you prefer milk, you can use it. If you want to use water, you can also use water. You can also add some other things like eggs if you want, but for this one I'm making it just simple for everyone, so it's much more easier. You might add an egg or use milk, and it won't taste as you wanted. So you use the simple things and you get the best results. Yeah. make sure the dough is really soft, because that's where the secret lies in eating very good chapatis. Soft, and even when you keep them for a very long time, you just have to take one, just warm it in the microwave, and then you'll still be eating the same thing, just like when it's just fresh. Yeah. So at this moment, the dough is starting to get better and better and softer. You don't have to pour in the water, you just have to press your hand, then do like that. If you have like a dough making machine at home, you can also use that one. It's much more easier, but I don't have one, and I prefer, because I'm not making like very many kilos, I prefer using hands. Even if I'm making like 5 kilograms, I always make the dough with hands. But if you have a machine at home, then you can use that one too. It's much more easier. You don't have to use a lot of energy like I'm doing. So the dough is getting softer and softer. Just by dripping a little bit of water, it makes the dough softer until when you see it's really ready. So I think now the dough is getting better and better. So that will be the last of the water I add into the dough. You see now how it is. So the dough is almost ready, but one more last trick. To make your best chapatis, add a little bit of butter. This will make the dough really soft, and it will make the chapatis really soft too. So just add in a little bit of butter, then integrate the dough. This is the secret to making, the secret I use to making very soft chapatis. Yeah. So integrate the batter really well and let the dough be really soft. But if you don't have the batter, I told you always have an option to use oil too. But because I have the butter, I use butter. You can also use margarine. Yeah, but the taste won't be the same. If you use the taste for butter and the taste for margarine is different. And you can always feel it when you're eating the chapatis. If you see that the dough is too sticky, just take a little bit of extra wheat, just put around it, and that's fine. Then just continue. And now our dough is ready. So what you're going to do is like add in some oil. What this oil helps with is like making it much more easier when you're rolling the dough, when you're making the chapatis and the shape. Yeah, it makes it much more easier to roll. And it makes it more softer too. Just do that. Just integrate the oil. Just add a little bit more. So our dough is done right now. So you'll have to, depending on the time that you have, but it's always to take your time when you're making the chapatis so that they can be more softer when you're eating them. So just let the dough sit for about 15 to 30 minutes before you begin making the rolls and the chapatis. Okay, hello guys. So welcome back. After the 30 minutes, we let our dough rest. So let's start to roll the chapatis. First, you have to add a little bit of wheat here where you're working with. Then you'll have to make the rolls. So you have to divide the wheat. Let's make some rolls. So depending on how much wheat you've used, 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, depending on what you want, and depending on the sizes that you want too. So around 1 kg, you can always get around maybe like 12 chapatis or 15, depending on what you want. So you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. So yeah, it always depends on you what you want. If you want to make more, you have to make them smaller. If you want to make them a little bit thicker, so that when you're eating, you eat only one chapati and you'll be satisfied, that's up to you. But me, I always get around maybe 12 to 10 to 12, because I always make thick chapatis. Yeah, I always make thick chapatis. So I always get around 10 or 12 chapatis in 1 kg. But it depends on the sizes that you want. So the reason you make these balls is like to know how many chapatis you're going to make. So that's why it's always good to make the balls first, and you know exactly how many you're going to get depending on the dough that you have made here. So if you want more, you make the balls a little bit smaller. So let's see how many we get today. I think I'll be getting around 5. I'll be getting around 10 or 11 chapatis from this dough. But by the way, these chapatis are really good, and you can eat them on breakfast early in the morning. You can have them for lunch. So they're really good and really flexible, in that you can eat them whenever, wherever you want. And you can eat them with sauce, you can eat them with meat. So it just depends. It just depends on what you want. If you want to eat them without sauce, you can eat them without sauce. You can eat them with just tea or coffee, something like that. If you want to eat them like food, you can always use sauces like meat stew. You can use banana. You can use beans. So always good, always good, always good. So guys, I am done with the round balls. So now it's time to roll the chapatis. Yeah. So you first add a little bit of wheat here. Remember when I told you guys to use some oil, it will help you to roll them a little bit easier like this. Yeah. And to make the shapes. You don't have to be perfect when you're making the shapes, because you can make the round shapes when you're frying them in the frying pan. Yeah, you can always make the shapes to be a little bit better. So when you're rolling them, don't roll them too thin. Yeah, don't roll them too thin, because then it makes the chapati really thin, just like a newspaper. We call them newspapers back home. So when something is too thin, so just keep on rolling them. You add a little bit of wheat and roll. If the wheat is too soft and you don't have a place where to, if your kitchen is a little bit small like mine, just put them somewhere and just add a little bit of wheat over the ones that you have rolled, so that They don't like stick together, because when they stick together, it will be so hard for you, because you have to do the whole job again. Yeah. So just be careful when you're rolling them and when you're putting them together, so they don't stick together and you won't be able to remove one from the other. So that's the key, because the dough is really, really soft. They will be sticking to each other. But if you have enough space in your kitchen, you can always separate them. Then it will be much more easier for you to grab and just put in the pan. It can be a long, tiresome process making chapatis. So if you're at home, you're a mom, and you have a son or you have a daughter, if you're dad and you're home, you can help your wife to roll them or to make the dough, and the job can go a little bit faster actually. Yeah, when you're two, the job goes really, really fast, because one rolls the chapatis and another one can fry them. So because I'm alone here, I have to do all the job. I have to do all the work by myself. So, but anyway, me, I'm used to it, and I'm used to making even much more than these ones. And if you're around Sweden, or if you're in Malmo and you want these chapatis, you just have to write to me, and then we can see. We can talk about it. I can make them for parties, birthday parties, like usual stuff. I can also make them for you just to eat at home. So yeah, you just have to contact me. So we are almost there. Just 5 rolls remaining and we'll be done. And if you're good at multitasking, you can also roll and fry at the same time. But I find it really hard to roll and fry at the same time, because it will take more time, because you have to roll only 1 or 2 and then you have to fry them and then you have to roll again. I find this much more easier to do when I just roll everything fast, and then afterwards I can start frying when I'm done with everything. But it's a choice. You can always do as you like. Me, I find it much more easier to roll them first before I start frying them. So the rolling process is almost done. And as for the tips, guys, always do it your own way. Because like I said in the beginning, I'm doing it my own way. This is the way I do it. But you can always also find your own way that makes it much more easier for you to do them. Yeah, it's just that the flavors and the way you make your dough, that differs. But you can always find a way. Find a way to make it much more easier for you to do them. Because they need a lot of time. But like I said, if you're 2 people at home and you have a partner or you have kids who can help you roll the chapatis, the work becomes easy. Yeah. So this is the last one, and then we will begin the process of frying them. And also the frying technique is also different for everyone, and depending on what you're using. If you're using gas, or if you're using electricity, so the process is kind of different. Some use oil to like dip them into the oil, but for me, when I dip them into the oil, I think the oil is too much in the chapatis, so I don't like them. As you can see them here, yeah, we have rolled them out, and now it's time to fry them. So I'm putting it on the highest heat right now. I put it at 7. Yeah, I'm using electricity. So in the first 2 to 3 chapatis that you're going to make sure the frying pan is really hot. It's really hot when you're beginning. Then you can gradually reduce it, but the consistency that we want is when the chapati is brown. That's the consistency that we want. Then you just know the chapati is ready. Yeah. So the first thing that you have to do is put a little bit of oil on the frying pan. And different people have different techniques of frying these chapatis. So me, I'm used to like doing 3 or 4 of them at once, because that's much more easier for me. But if you're not yet like an expert of frying them, it's better you do one at a time, because then you can get the consistency, and then the chapatis can be ready to eat. But with time, if you do it like several times, then it can be much more easier for you to do 2 to 3 at once. Yeah. But the first thing that I do, I take the chapati the rolled one. So to make the shape, I just do like this, widen it a little bit, because the body is really thick and you don't want your chapati not to be ready. So you have to widen it a little bit more. So like that, to make the shape. Yeah, and make sure not to burn yourself when you're frying them, because the frying pan will be really hot. Yeah. So what I do, I put one side first. I haven't started frying yet. So what I do, I put one side first, then change it again. Change the other side. So right now, what I'm doing is like, I don't want them to stick to themselves like one after the other. when I'm frying them. So that's why I put them on the pan first before. So I put that one aside. Then I put the second one. But you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can just fry one at a time. It's much more easier. But for me, I'm used to frying like 3 to 4 at once. So that's why I'm doing this process, but you don't have to do it. So I put that one aside too. Then I take the next one. And when you're trying to make the shapes, don't enlarge the chapati so much. Just do it a little bit, so that it's equal on the sides and even in the middle. Yeah. So that's the third one. Then I'll take the fourth one. Just like I told you guys, it's a long process of making chapatis. So like if I had like someone here, it would go much more faster. Then on that last one, I add these 3 that I put on the sides first. Then I try to do this. I have a technique that I usually use for frying them. So I use this paper. It's the empty paper for the wheat. Then add oil on top of this one first. Then make it go round like this. Then you change it. So like this. But be really careful because they are really, really hot. But for me, I'm used to doing it. Then you have to roll them around and around and around. If you can't use this paper, you can always use a spoon, just like I said. But the spoon is good when you're just frying only one chapati at a time. So this is the best technique that we always use in Uganda. Yeah, it's the best because you press onto the chapati. So just after like a minute or so, because of the heat, when the heat is too high, they can easily burn. So add on the other side too, on this one. Then you check the consistency down. If it's brown like this, then it's ready, that side. Then you have to change the other side too. Yeah. This is a tiring process, but it's worth it at the end of the day. And when you feel like when the pan is really hot, you have to reduce the heat because to avoid the burning, to overburn it. So then I'll put the heat on 6 So we are looking for the consistency which is brown on both sides. You have to make sure you press on it so that the oil goes into the chapati and it fries it really well. So you add more oil, and when you're frying them, don't put too much oil. Don't put too much oil. If you don't have a bottle like this one of mine, you can always use a spoon. So this one is ready. You can always use a spoon to measure the oil that you're pouring onto the chapati, so it doesn't be too much. And always check first. If it's brown, then it's ready. So that one is ready too. But if you don't want to go through this long process, you can always fry the chapatis in the oil. You just dip them in the oil here. But just like I told you guys, I always feel like if I dip them into the oil is too much in the chapati and I don't like it. But like doing this, it minimizes the oil that you're using. And don't put too little oil. Because then it won't fry really well. So keep on pressing like this, moving it side to side, left and right, until you get the consistency that you're looking for, which is brown. And really be careful when you're frying these chapatis. You can really burn yourself. They are really soft because of that butter and because of giving them that time, the 30 minutes for the dough to rest. It makes the dough really soft. And if you don't want to go through this whole process, you can just skip on the video until the end to see the end product. So when the frying pan heats too much, you can always take it off the heat, put a little bit of water, and then put it back. So guys, now we are done with our chapatis. Yeah, and this is the end product. This is the consistency that I was saying, the brown color. So we are done, and you see how soft they are. So yeah, basically that's the whole process, and you can always have them just the way they are, like this, and you take a bite. They are really tasty. The salt is perfect. The onion in the dough, you can always feel it, and it's really good. Yeah. So that was the whole process, guys. Sorry that I'm enjoying this chapati right now, but if you want to try this at home, just do it, and like I said, just do it your own way. Use the ingredients that you have. You don't have to look for things that you don't have. Just use what you have at home, and it will be totally fine. Maybe the first time it will be hard for you to make them. They will be hard. Sometimes they be hard, really, really hard. Yeah, when you fry them and they become like stones. I don't mean like the real stones, but like it's really hard. When you break them, it's like you're breaking a plastic. So it's not easy to get the consistency where it's really soft, and you can always like have it when you want. After making your chapatis, make sure you put them somewhere that can keep the warmth into them, and so that they don't get dry. So that's the thing. So when you just leave them out in the open, they will be really dry and they will be hard to eat. So just get like a polythene like this one, then just put them inside, then put some holes into the polythene, and then it will be fine. If you have another place where you can put them, probably not in the fridge like directly, but where you can cover them and they can keep that warmth within them, so that will be really nice. So today I'm also eating the chapatis with some fried meat, as you can see here, fried meat, and some spinach on the side. So that's what I'm going to eat my chapatis with today. But for the recipe of this fried meat, I will probably make another video another day for you guys to see how I fry my meat and the spinach on the side. So yeah, basically that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow for more videos from this channel. So I sign out from Afro Modern Bites for today. Thank you so much. Bye. See you in the next video.